Alrighty, so while Dokkan is in maintenance, I just wanted to upload a video talking about the Transcendent Dokkan campaign. Now, I would say that this celebration for the game was pretty polarizing in the way that it was handled, and I figured I would ask you guys over here on the YouTube side of things what you thought. Now, again, it's kind of fun to get the community involved in these, like people watching the videos and stuff like that, and asking what you guys think, because I think it's important to know sort of where the community is and interact with you guys. And it's fun to let you guys be parts of the videos. I definitely want to do more stuff with like viewers in the future in terms of like the video content. I've been trying to work out like how we could do like reacting to viewer summons. I think it would be kind of fun if like on the community Discord, we could have people that were doing their summons. They could like screen share it via the Discord VC. It would be like a public VC in there. And then they could share their screen and we could see the summons and stuff like that. Would kind of be a fun way to do summoning videos that isn't just me summoning and yapping about what's on the screen, right? So I thought that that might be a fun idea, but let me know. We would obviously have to find a way to make that work, but it definitely could be done in the future. So again, I put a community post up here and said, what do you guys think of the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, aka the Tanabata replacement? I want to turn this into a video, so make sure you leave your opinions in the comment section so I can react to them. And that is what I did. And thankfully here, 63 of you guys replied with your thoughts. So there should be plenty to talk about, and we can sort of break everything down. Now, initially, I'll quickly give my thoughts. I thought that this campaign certainly could have been handled better. Some of the high points were the quality of the LRs that we got. I thought the animations were very cool for Broly. I thought the kit for Golden Frieza and Gogeta was very good. I am a fan of the Festival of Battle, so I'm a big fan of the Broly character, but I can definitely understand those of you who do not think that, and I don't blame you for thinking that way. I don't think it's a bad school of thought to say I don't like the Festival of Battles. Completely okay, but I do like it. And you guys can see from the results here, it was about 60-40 in favor of great, and then 40% going towards the trash side of things. So I should have maybe put mid in the middle, to be honest. That's probably going to be the overwhelming majority of the response here, but only time will tell. Now that I've kind of got all that yapping out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. We're not going to go over the names of everybody commenting. I'll try and do like a quick one. And for those of you watching this on like a second monitor or listening to it in the background while you're doing something else, I will read the comment in its entirety. I won't like paraphrase or anything like that, just so you can understand exactly what the player is saying and I'm not misconstruing their words. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And the first one is coming from Wyatt. It says, I would say mid overall. The units were great, but there was just not enough events, so it felt really dry. I definitely could see the argument for that. I thought that the character kits were pretty good, because if we look at the sort of TDC breakdown here, we have Gogeta, whatever you want to call them, right? I actually think the database would probably be a better way to look at this, because we can just see everything that we've got. Yeah, here we go. So if we go here, starting from the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, we had Golden Frieza and Vegeta, Golden Frieza's Easy A, the free-to-play Saiyan Kid Vegeta, Broly. So the amount of Easy A's in the celebration were really bad. Only 3 in a big celebration like this. No bueno, right? Like, we're not a fan of this. We want a lot of Extreme Z battles. And this was 1 Easy A, so 33 Dragon Stones. And then you have Super Easy A's and then a Sub Easy A, so less Dragon Stones. And then when we look at the events here, it just was not enough. So if we go to like the difficult events, we look here, we had the new Live or Die event, which was super easy. The Pure Saiyan's Red Zone, which was there were some tricky parts, but not too hard for sure. And then the Union Master got updated stages as well, with a seriously fight as well. So not the best sort of content, but if we look at like the event tab, we had the link level event and things like that. Dokkan Day tickets, 2 separate banners. The Easy A's, like, this celebration needed another Easy A or 2 so bad. Like, you had the easiest layup of all time with the Goku and Vegeta exchange character Easy A. Like, that should have been done, and it wasn't. And I just don't really know why. So definitely a big swing and a miss in terms of that Easy A, or no lack of Easy A's, excuse me. There's just not enough characters here. Because if we look at GDC, right, like, let's just count it, right? From here on, 1, 2, 3, 4. The clones will count as 5, even though it's technically 10. 6, the next number after 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 28 characters during GDC compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number after 6, right? So 7 characters right here compared to 28. And it just makes you wonder, right? Like, what are we doing here? Why do we only have 7 characters compared to 28? And really, if we want to count the other ones, it could be 33, right? So, like, and we look at easy A's. How many easy A's are in this celebration? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 easy A's compared to 3. Now, GDC was bigger than TDC. Like, we knew this, right? That's okay. This is the worldwide download celebration. It's supposed to be bigger, but not a difference of 33 to 7, right? So not enough characters. And I think the events could have been a little bit harder and maybe a little bit more quantity. I like the Festival of Battles, but the Festival of Battles missions do not count as content for the vast majority of the player base. So we have to keep that in mind. Okay, I appreciate your comment. Thank you, Wyatt. This next one's coming from, we'll call him TSC. In my opinion, it just needed another easy A or 2. Yeah, we talked about it, right? For sure, easy A's, like lack of easy A's is always going to be an L. Easy A's are like the most important thing Dokkan can do in like priority. So like when it comes to a celebration, to me, the most important things are like, for me, it's like a 1A, 1B thing. 1A, are the units exciting and are the units good? Like GDC nailed it. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega, a fake Vegito Blue, and Rose Goku Black. Good choices, right? Transcendent Dokkan campaign did not nail that, right? Golden Frieza and Gogeta is cool. Like having Gogeta is there is great. And Broly is a good choice, but Broly, I don't think was good enough for everything. And Golden Frieza and Gogeta were very good, but the main guy being Golden Frieza here is not the most exciting thing. And then the 1B of a celebration to me is the easy A's. So sometimes easy A's can make up for a lack of content. We saw that in 2024 during the worldwide download celebration, the Broly celebration. People were ready to rag on that celebration, call it a flop, call it an L, right? With like, so like right here with all the Brolys and stuff. And then do you know what happens at the end of the celebration? Boom, these 2 easy A. And I saw tweets verbatim saying like this celebration went from like a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. So when you have hype easy A's like this Gogeta and Janemba, when you have hype easy A's like the year 7 LRs, right? This can really take a celebration from it was okay to it was elite, it was peak. And in this case here with the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, we didn't even come close to that. So easy A's, I think, are like the second most important thing, or like tied for 1A for the most important thing. And then the second most important thing is the events and the content. Where can you actually use these characters? And in this case, I don't think they nailed it with the difficult content. Is there a lot of new stuff that there is? Sure. There's new red zone stages, this stuff down here, but this isn't content. No stage took more than 2 minutes for me. And that's not because I have like a crazy account. It's just the stages were easy. Like we pull up the stats on this event here. Look, like Survival 14, the hardest stage, 1 million? Hello? Like, this wasn't supposed to be hard, okay? I do get that. It really was just free stones, and I appreciate free stones. Those are my favorite types of stones, are the free ones. So just keep that in mind with the content. I definitely think it could have been better. There needed to be easy A's, and there also needed to be more difficult content, right? So just keep that in mind. Definitely could have been a lot better, I think. This was my first Transcendent Dokkan campaign, and this one comes from Evie James, excuse me. This was my first Transcendent Dokkan campaign, and I really enjoyed it. I pulled Broly and Frieza and rainbowed my Tech Gotenks. That's awesome. I really enjoyed it. The content was fun, and now I'm saving stones for the 11th anniversary. Love the content. Thank you. So this is coming from, I assume, to be a newer player. Unfortunately, for your comment there at the beginning where you said this was my first Transcendent Dokkan campaign, technically this was everybody's first Transcendent Dokkan campaign. But if we're just talking about Tanabata, sure. And I think that really is like something that players sort of are not forgetting, but it's easy to get wrapped up in the fact that this is not supposed to be an anniversary level celebration, right? It's supposed to be a big one, though. When you debut a Dokkan Fest LR, typically that is supposed to mean that there's supposed to be a big celebration corresponding to it. And in terms of the quantity, it just wasn't there. In terms of the quality of the content, it just wasn't there. But there were some fun units. Look at how cool this frame of Broly is, right? Like, this is sick. Look at how cool, like, this little wallpaper is, right? Like, who doesn't love Broly, right? But the problem is, it's like, he wasn't designed for the majority of the game that people care about. Like, I'm a weirdo and I like the festival, right? Like, and I completely understand, like, this guy was for the festival and people just don't like that event, and that's okay. So, you know, it is what it is, but I'm not going to say that your enjoyment of the campaign is invalid. You weren't allowed to like it. But again, it is a lot easier to enjoy a celebration when you pull the characters. So just keep that in mind. All right, next up, this one comes from Miku, I think is how you say that one. Not like the typical Miku, Mikoo here. Lack of EZAs killed it for me, and I even got both units. It was movie bosses buffs, yes, but I feel the team still needs more. Okay, I appreciate that comment because this is actually a very easy topic to talk about, right? We pull up movie bosses and we discuss what it has and does it need more. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to see it before we start talking about it. So, movie bosses buffs. We got these two characters, both very good, right? Can be ran where you need to run them and all of that fun stuff. Tech Broly has aged. I don't think he's horrible, but he's also not great. This Golden Frieza is very good. The database, it's like, what's funny is like this website is really good for the order of things. So if we go categories and we go movie bosses here, this will probably be a little bit better for what we're looking for. Yeah. So in total, 5 buffs for a category that they're basing the celebration around is not enough. Because if we go to a good example here would be GT Heroes. From the start of the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, or the Global Dokkan campaign, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 buffs, right? If we were to look at GT bosses, how many buffs do we have here? Not as many, but 6. So a whole new team if you wanted to run GT bosses, right? This guy, a bit of an asterisk because he's banned in most events, but like you still have this backup here who isn't too old. But in total, 6 characters right here. If you look at the Future Saga, how many buffs did Future Saga get, right? Again, keep in mind, GDC is supposed to be bigger. Like, I need y'all to understand that. At the start of GDC, we're not going to count everything here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 buffs for Future Saga. And then that was across 2 parts, right? It wasn't entirely dedicated to Future Saga. It was the first half. So 12 buffs in one half of the celebration, 6 buffs for GT bosses in the other one. What was it, like 8 or 9 buffs for GT Heroes in one part of the celebration, or 2 technically, right? So you guys understand that when both of the parts are dedicated to the movie boss team, and we get, what was it, 5 buffs, 6 buffs? If we go here to movie bosses, like, yeah, you guys can see 5 buffs. Like, that's terrible. That's not good enough. You need more. So it's when you're focusing the entire campaign around it and the team is still doesn't feel complete by the time you're done with it. Like, that's just indicative of a celebration that did not accomplish its goal. It did not make movie bosses one of the best teams in the game. It did not make Exploding Rage one of the best teams in the game, right? It's like, that's the whole purpose of this stuff, right? To make these new units for the celebrations and stuff like that, the best teams in the game, the teams that you want to be running these characters on. And Exploding Rage got 2 buffs during this campaign. And there's a carnival leader for this campaign right here, right? So it's a bit frustrating, I think, in terms of like the fact that they did not buff the teams properly that you're supposed to be buffing. So lack of EZAs for sure. And the movie bosses team just did not get enough. I would for sure agree with that. Based on where we're at right now, we have 63 comments. We're only on 4 and we're 15 minutes in, basically. I'm not going to be able to get through all of these comments, but we'll see how many. I'm sure there's going to be some repeating points in here, but we'll keep moving. This next one comes from Andy's Candies Are Good. So Andy. Got Broly, but the LR EZAs were good. So the Super EZA for Broly and Golden Frieza. Sorry, I paraphrased for him. Other than that, there were barely any stones. Pulled a few units from my account, like the Tech Androids, AGL Trunks, and Physical Goten and Trunks through the Memorial Stone tickets. Also somehow pulled the final copy for LR Int Vegeta / Goku. I need to Rainbow. So I'm mainly going to be focusing on the first half. Like, this stuff is great. Like, that's awesome. I'm happy that you pulled stuff that you needed. But for the sake of the celebration, we got to talk about this, right? The LR EZAs were good. Yeah, I thought Golden Frieza and Super EZA Broly are very good. The problem is there needed to be more. That's really what it comes down to me. And barely any stones. Let me see if anybody has done the totals. Typically, there's an account on Twitter. I think it's Misaka1, Misaka1. Yeah, but there's a K at the end there too. Did they do a stone counter? They're up to date with the EZAs, but I don't know if they did a stone thing for the Global Dokkan campaign, or for the Transcendent Dokkan campaign. It's definitely sub 1K. Yeah, I don't see a stone counter here, but it's definitely under 1,000. But during Tanabata, you're also not supposed to get 1,000 stones. So do keep that in mind. Like, it's not supposed to be that big of a celebration. Yeah, like the stones could have been spread out a little bit better or been like in bigger batches. The problem right here with this is the fact that they were doing that daily event. So it's like, oh, you could get 42 stones from the live free or not live free, the live or die planetary event, right? So, you know, but the Tanabata campaign, again, you guys have to remember that this is not a celebration that's going to give like 1,500 stones. It's just not how they operate. This next one comes from Truco. I like it. Both units with 200 stones, very lucky, GG's. And the red zone is my favorite to the date. But I preferred another thematic like theme like DBZ or GT. Too much super in my opinion. Well, it was a Dragon Ball Super Broly based celebration, so I can't give them too much flack for that. But the red zone is my favorite to the date. That's interesting because I didn't really find this red zone to be that fun. Kale and Caulifla, I guess, were like an interesting little stage there at the end. And then this Broly to me was just straight up boring. I don't know. I wasn't intimidated. Lost to a lock, I think, like once or twice, but other than that, like nothing too crazy. Definitely we've seen better, right? Like this is certainly a shadow of the old Broly, right? Like my guys who were playing during the 7th anniversary, y'all know what I'm talking about. That other Broly was way harder. But hey, if you enjoyed this red zone, that's awesome, right? But if you want a DBZ or something like that, sure. But it's just kind of one of those situations where it's like, if they were going to go with Super Broly and not do like a Gogeta, like a blue Gogeta or something like that, I thought that we got a pretty good little setup there. So just keep that in mind. Next up, what do we got? It was all right, not good, not bad, or even mid, like a 6 out of 10 for a major celebration. Sure. I'd probably say it's a little closer to a 5 out of 10. But I don't hate 6 out of 10 there. That's not that bad. Hey, Juki, shout out to Juki. That's my guy. Love me some Broly movie stuff, but man, the lack of EZAs were lame. Was hoping for more options. I can't read. Was hoping for more options on movie bosses outside of an I need to take hits party of units, like overall a 6 of 10 celebration. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that both of the characters were built that way, where you really want them to get hit first. Like I've been running this Broly to my detriment, like how much I play the Festival of Battles in the Festival of Battles. And it's like the conflict of interest shows up, especially at the beginning, because you want him to get hit so he can get his additionals in, but then your other characters can't stack because he just does so much. And the fact that Golden Frieza is basically the same thing, where if you put them slot 1, they're essentially not going to do anything offensively or defensively. It is a bit annoying. Next one, nothing super crazy, although I personally think the new Broly LR is super fun to use, and he's a good addition for those struggling with the Festival of Battles. Yes. Those struggling with the Festival of Battles, this Broly is a godsend. He is so good in there. But I also think that most people don't care about the Festival of Battles. And I hate to say that because I like the Festival of Battles, but it's just true. So, yeah, nothing super crazy, I think, is a great way to put it, for sure. They should have ended it with 2 more EZAs like we expected. Instead of it going out with a bang, it ended in a whimper. Yes. It's a really big deal, not a really big deal, but one of the most fun things about these celebrations is how they can end it on a bang sometimes. When we look at the Transcendent or the Global Dokkan campaign, not as much of a bang as years prior, but like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, a very anticipated EZA, right? For that being the final buff of the celebration, very good. If we go back down to the 10th anniversary, right? Excluding the EX part, right? Like the main ending of the celebration, these guys right here, right? Like the part 3 LR anniversary EZAs, that's how you end it with a bang, right? The New Year celebration, they ended it with these 2, right? Did they end this with these 2? Am I dumb? Yeah, no, so like January 7th, right? Like a week after New Year's is over, essentially, right? Like these are big deals, right? The end of the worldwide celebration, Tech Janemba, or Physical Janemba and Tech Gogeta. Huge things to kind of wrap up the celebration, to say thank you, more Dragon Stones, more fun characters to use, just ending it like being like, oh, that's it, and everybody's just kind of like scratching their head. That sucks because now that sets the tone for the rest of the end of the year here in Dokkan, right? Like the highs of 2025 are probably done, right? Like GDC is over, so Worldwide Download Celebration is what GDC is. It's over. The Tanabata campaign, it's over. The anniversary campaign, it's over. So now all of the big dogs for the year are done. We don't think we're going to have Dragon Ball Heroes this year. That's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. And now we're basically just like, all right, let's start saving our stones for New Year's. And we got to wait all the way till then for there to be stuff to do. So it does kind of suck that we didn't get all of that extra stuff. And again, like this guy said, it ended with a whimper. So I would definitely agree with that point. It needed to be better. And it's unfortunate that it went like that because this campaign had all of the potential to be like really, really good. An EX part with Bird Coup and a cooler EZA would have made it perfect. I don't think it would have made it perfect, but it definitely would have set the tone for the celebration where it was like, okay, they gave us something good at the end, I think. Okay, next up. We'll do a few more. I think that we don't have to make this video too long. You guys know I don't like making like crazy long videos, right? I feel like it was mediocre overall. The first unit was fire and helps with a lot of teams because there's a lot of good movie units overall, but then the Broly was kind of mid. I also didn't feel like we needed more Super Broly units. It would have been better if it was like a Boo campaign or a movie campaign with like a Super 13 LR. Okay, I'm going to disagree with this last bit. And you know why? Because I do YouTube and people do not care about Android 13, right? Like, I hate to say that because you guys know, like, it sucks because, like, I want people to care about everything in Dokkan, but 13, people just do not care about Android 13. So I'll take a Broly any day of the week, but if they wanted to do like a movie campaign and then they added like another Super Saiyan Goku, or like if they wanted to just do a different form of Broly somehow, but now like all of the Brolys are covered, right? Like if we go to movie bosses, like in the last year, Wrathful Broly, Full Power Broly, Super Saiyan Broly, Second Coming Broly, Bio Broly, Z Broly, like we're done, right? Broly trio from this, like we're done. We're good with Brolys now. We got everything. So I'm expecting for us to go a little bit before we get another Broly. So keep that in mind, right? But yeah, for sure. More Super Broly units. I think it was fine because like Wrathful Broly really was the last one. So it is what it is, but I can definitely see what you mean. Like a boot campaign would have been cool, or just a different movie campaign also would have been fun. All right, next up. I feel like no matter what they do at this point, if it's not bringing 10-year level hype, it's not going to add up. Disagree. I think GDC I'm sorry, that was a bit aggressive. I just do not agree with that. GDC brought the hype. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was more hype to a lot of people than anything the 10th anniversary had. And the 10th anniversary was also designed to be special that way. It was supposed to have that feeling of like, this is the culmination of 10 years of support, right? Handing out a headliner for free is like the most generous thing I've seen a gacha game do. And that is so special, and they want that to be remembered, right? I am like going into the 11th anniversary with the expectation it is not going to be better than the 10th. And that is by design. They wanted the 10th anniversary to feel like an apex of sorts, right? So I do kind of see what you're saying, where that was kind of a question during the 10th anniversary, right? It's like, where do we go from here? Because there's a very good chance next year we are not going to get that Purunga wish. Like, I'm going into that celebration with the thought process of like, yeah, we are not seeing Purunga make an appearance and give us a headliner, right? Like, I don't think that's going to be the case. Is it impossible? No, but I also think it's extremely unlikely that we do see that. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, but like that is a very good point. Like the 10-year really is like, if that's the bar, you're going to find yourself being disappointed a lot. Like the 10-year really brought it. For sure. But like also so did Gogeta 4. That was not part of the 10th anniversary. So they can still do cool stuff, right? Like a Gogeta Blue that's running around like that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, we're in good hands. Very questionable schedule. Yeah, no doubt about that. Like, where's my EZA Dokkan? Aside from that, I think it was all right. Broly and Frieza Gogeta are fun. Yeah, I think both those characters are fun for sure. And the scheduling was just really bad. It was fine, not good nor trash. The events were pretty lazy, though, besides the red zone. I even thought the red zone was lazy. Like, there was nothing here that stood out to me. Like, what does Broly do? He dodge nullifies and locks. Ooh, like, we haven't seen that before. Kale and Caulifla. They do crits, I guess, and they had actions that you could predict. And, like, multiple enemies, right? We love Kale and Caulifla in this house, but not that exciting, right? Kaba, like, no mention of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like, that was kind of lame. Like, that could have been really funny. If they were to have like made a, like, you know, lean into the meme a little bit. You guys know about it. I know the devs are on social media. Like, come on. Majin Vegeta just locks, so you can potentially lose off frame 1. Boring, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being jaded. Raditz, the meme, like, it was fun, but I don't agree with that. I thought that the red zone did feel a little bit lazy. It was like the only way they can make things hard these days is just locking you, really, or like healing or stuff like that. I don't know. The most 6.5 out of 10 celebration ever. Sure. Yeah, I said 5.5, but yeah, I can see the vision there. 6.5 out of 10. Sure. All right. Oh boy. Okay, so we have two long ones here, and then we will go ahead and call this. I do appreciate, before we do that, everybody else that left comments here. Thank you very much. Right, need more stones, all of these things. I did have a friend, our boy TJ here. I did ask him directly to leave a comment, so he did. So let's do TJ's first, and then we'll go back up. I asked the buddies that hang out, like, yo, go leave a comment on my video. So I'll make sure that I read theirs. Feel like it was just all right. Unit choices were good, but content or lack thereof felt weird. Isn't thereof one word? Felt weird. Felt like we could have had some more easy A's to fill the void of less content. It feels like a lackluster finale now that we are going into this potential giant form celebration, which hopefully will do what it needs to do in terms of more units for Baby's team and it's supporting it properly. Yeah, I mean, bringing up Baby's a good point, but also that's what I mentioned earlier, where the tone is now set for this end of year period that's not going to feel as exciting, where the last major hurrah of the year was left out on a whimper. So yeah, for sure. Okay, so like I said, with these last ones here, we got right here. As someone who stopped playing shortly after the TUR Gammas and came back on a new account during this campaign, should have came back a little bit earlier, my man. I thought that it was great. The Frieza and Gogeta banner let me snag some great and varied Dokkan Festival exclusives, and I went insanely hard on the Broly banner, spending a lot of stones I grinded up for. With the double SSR rate, I was able to get so many LRs and banner units. That's awesome. The free tickets got me multiple Dokkan Fest exclusives, and the Purunga Memorial Dragonstones let me snag some powerful units for free. Yeah, so they saw a lot of free units that they were able to get and took advantage of it. That's awesome. Good stuff. We'll probably end up like an Echo Chamber, but it definitely needed more easy A's. The Gold of Frieza and Gogeta card is interesting and fun use of the tag mechanic, and I've been waiting for a new Wrathful Broly forever, despite him not being as good outside of longer events. The mixing of movie bosses and heroes is cool, but the team is just left underbaked. Yeah, so everything that we talked about before, the combination of movie heroes and movie bosses, what I like about that leader skill in specific is we are always going to be getting movie heroes and movie bosses, right? The movies are some of the most important things to the Dragon Ball, not continuity or canon, but to fan recognition. They are like the most iconic things in Dragon Ball. Gogeta, up there with the likes of Vegito, right? Like the fusions, super exciting. The birth of Super Saiyan God, the birth of Super Saiyan Blue, the fusions, Broly, like one of the most iconic Dragon Ball villains, right? We've talked about this before. To me, it's Frieza, Broly, Rose Goku Black, Cell, Buu. Like those are the main villains of Dragon Ball in that order. I think Goku Black, just because he looks like Goku, is why I have him over Buu. So like, but it's like this team is constantly getting peppered with buffs, right? Anytime we get a Beast Gohan, anytime we get a Goku from the movies, Orange Piccolo, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the BoJack movie, Gogeta's, right? Like all of these characters are coming from the movies and they're always getting buffed. Broly characters, Metal Coolers, Turleses, Cell Max, Golden Frieza, right? Janemba. All of these different units here like are always going to be getting new characters. So that leader skill could end up being extremely versatile for just how well it could age. So for sure. Okay, so just kind of quickly scrolling through here again, a lot of comments here. So I do appreciate all of you supporting here again. Means the world when you guys can help me out in terms of like what your opinions are and stuff like that. Thank you here. One more. The Truth said it was trash and I have no opinions of my own. You know what, man? Fair enough. Yeah, that's why I try and be careful with like when I do my top 10s and stuff like that. I don't like to argue like I'm dead right. I just kind of like to provide my intake or my take on the situation and characters and stuff like that. Your boy doesn't make very good top 10 lists. I try my best. But sometimes like I'll make them and then I just feel really bad about it. I'm like, oh, I didn't like how that turned out. But it is what it is. You're allowed to have opinions of your own. I think that's important as a human, that you need to formulate, and this isn't going to be like a psychological thing, but like it's important to be able to find what you think, right? I think the most dangerous thing you can do is just relay the word of a content creator when it comes to like mostly opinion-based stuff, right? If I say that one of the best ways to farm incredible gems is to do this method, I think that's okay to relay because that's been tested. That's backed by evidence. That's backed by rates, percentages, all of these things. It's not just like, oh, I enjoy this character or prefer this character to that character, right? And this isn't shaded any content creator or anything like that. I am by no means the perfect content creator. There's a lot of people doing this and they do a very good job. But that's just something to keep in mind. You can't always just base, your opinion on what a content creator says, right? So just keep that in mind. I think it's important for you to think on your own and do these things. It'll help you out in the long run. Not gonna lie, the main content of the celebration was the Festival of Battles missions, and I give 2 thumbs down. Sure. The only great part of it to me is the movies team being really fun. Everyone can agree on that at least. I don't know. We'll see, right? Yeah, so mid, no easy A. That's kind of the verdict here. So thank you guys all for your comments here. Again, I can't read all of them individually. This video would be too long unless you want me to make the video an hour and a half. But again, I don't think you guys are in for those types of videos. I know my audience typically likes when the videos are shorter, but sometimes I do like to do these long discussions. So thank you guys for watching. Shout out to all my YouTube members that support me over there on that side of things. If you'd like to become a member yourself, go ahead and click the join button down below. It greatly helps the channel, and you get exclusive perks like emojis, extra emojis in the chat, early access to Zero to Hero episodes when I do upload those. And then also you get a special member role in the Discord, a special badge next to your name, and you just show extra support for the channel. So I greatly appreciate that. Leave a like if you did enjoy this one, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.